Here's the Mets minor league update for the week. And of course, a lot of stuff happened. The big thing that happened in the Mets minor leagues this week was that Jonah Tong pitched 6 2/3 innings of a perfect game. And the Mets pitched the first perfect game in their organization's history in Binghamton. But this is obviously from Mets Rise. It's all Jonah Tong. And before you get this video, of course, please become a member of the channel. Need members on this channel. A perfect game was thrown for the first time in Mets minor league history. There were some caveats as it was a 7-inning game and it was technically a combined perfect game. However, Jonah Tong pitched for 6 2/3 of the 7 innings, only being removed because he was at 99 pitch, so he was on a pitch count. TJ Shook recorded the final out to clinch the first ever Mets minor league perfect game for the Binghamton Roma Ponies in a dominant effort. Let's get into the week. Now, of course, again, please subscribe. AAA. Syracuse Mets split their 6-game series against the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp last week. Despite the split, the Mets outscored the Jumbo Shrimp 25-19 in the 6 games and held the Shrimp to 5 or fewer runs in each game. Syracuse 18-21 on the year. They picked it up. Played a little bit better. Luis De Los Santos had a rollicking series against Jacksonville, going 9 for 20 with 2 homers and 2 doubles. De Los Santos also recorded 5 RBIs, which tied the team lead in the series. He had been struggling prior to this breakout. He still owns just a .651 OPS for the year. Jared Young only went 3 for 14 in the series, but 2 of his hits were for home runs. Not to be overshadowed by Jonah Tong and his combined perfect game, Nolan McLean had a brilliant AAA debut. He threw 7 shutout innings, allowing 7 hits, no walks, it's key, and striking out 7. McLean's prospect status continues to surge as he owns his 1.08 ERA between 6 starts for Binghamton and Syracuse. Paul Blackburn also made a couple of notable starts as he inches closer to joining the big league team. Blackburn allowed 4 runs in 6 2/3 innings across the 2 starts. Not particularly great numbers, but he did strike out 7 and is expected to be a long man in the bullpen upon his return. Brandon Sprout continues to look more and more comfortable as he allowed just 1 run, 5 innings in his last start. Well, that's good to hear because he's the Mets' best prospect, and he's been a little, not as good as he should be. The Binghamton Roma Ponies played just 5 games against the Reading Fighting Phils, taking the series by winning 3 of them. Binghamton is now 18-13. The biggest one in the series came in the second game of Saturday's doubleheader when the Roma Ponies tossed a perfect game. Ryan Clifford, who's in Double-A, has finally found a groove after a slow start to the year. Clifford launched 3 home runs against Reading, going 9 for 19 in the series. His OPS on the year climbed up to .820 after his successful series. Juan de Suarez added a solid start for Binghamton, allowing just 2 runs in 5 1/3 innings while striking out 7. Luis Moreno and Alex Carrillo looked great out of the bullpen, with Moreno tossing 3 1/3 scoreless innings while Carrillo allowed 1 run in 3 1/3 innings and struck out 6. Here's from High A Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Cyclones split their series with the Asheville Tourists, and it was a very even series with Brooklyn outscoring Asheville by just 1 run. The Cyclones are still off to a great start to the year, sitting at 20-12. They're the best Mets team. They have the most prospects. Carson Benj and Eli Serrano had fantastic weeks, each knocking 2 home runs and going 8 for 23. Benj scored 6 runs, drove in 7, walked 5 times, and stole 3 bases, while Serrano scored 5 runs, drove in 4, and walked twice. Benj has an .860 OPS, and Serrano has an .883 OPS, have both been extremely impressive and look like stars from the 2024 draft class. A.J. Ewing and Jacob Rima also look great, with Ewing also going 8 for 23 and Rima going 6 for 16. Each hit a home run, with Ewing stealing 5 bases, while Rima drove in 5 runs and walked 4 times. Noah Hall made the best start of the week for the Cyclones, allowing just a run in 5 2/3 innings of work. Hall has looked excellent this year and owns a 1.83 ERA in 7 starts. Out of the bullpen, both Eduardo Herrera and Chandler Marsh tossed 3 scoreless innings with 6 strikeouts apiece. Low A St. Lucie. St. Lucie Mets got off to a hot start in their series against the Clearwater Trushers, winning the first 2 games of the series, but they couldn't sustain it and dropped 4 straight to lose the series. So that's no good. Still, the Mets are 17-16 in the early going. 2024 11th round pick Nick Roselli had a great series, going 5 for 22 with a double and 2 home runs. Roselli, however, has struggled mightily this year and owns a 549 OPS between St. Lucie and Brooklyn. Trace Wilhoit also stood out despite playing in just 3 games. He went 4 for 10 with 2 home runs, 3 walks, and a stolen base. 2023 first rounder Colin Houck had another good week as he looks to build momentum. He went 5 for 17 with 2 doubles and a triple, walking 5 times and stealing 2 bases. He now has an OPS of 735. On the pitching side, Channing Austin, an undrafted free agent who signed last summer, had the best week of any St. Lucie pitcher. In 2 relief appearances, Austin allowed just 1 run in 9 innings. Austin has struggled otherwise, owning a 4.94 ERA on the year. Edgar Moreta also looked great out of the bullpen, striking out 6 and allowing 1 run in 6 innings of work. Moreta owns a 3.04 ERA in 6 games. Ramon Gomez continues to look unhittable as he struck out 6 and 3 in the 3rd innings, hitless out of the bullpen. Gomez did walk 3, but he lowered his season ERA to 0.69 through 6 games. The FCL Mets went 1 for 3 in 4 games this week. Jeffrey Rosa went 2 for 9 in 3 games played, but his 2 hits were both home runs. Edward Lantigua went 3 for 8 with 2 walks and 3 stolen bases. Lantigua is coming off a year in which he had a 792 OPS in the Dominican Summer League. Luis Alvarez pitched 3 1/3 innings, scoreless, while David Herrera pitched 3 scoreless innings of his own. So this was a pitching week for the Mets and their minor league. So this is a very exciting time for the Mets minor league system. Players of the week: Ryan Clifford. It's great to see Clifford showing significant signs of life at the plate after a dreadful start to the year. Clifford is still striking at a high rate, but he's starting to demonstrate the power that makes him so valuable. His slugging percentage is .475, is starting to close in on 500, and his OPS is sitting at 820. That average has got to go up, and he's got to cut down the strikeouts. On the pitching side, Jonah Tong. How does Nolan McLean, who tossed 7 shutout innings in his AAA debut, not win Pitcher of the Week? If anything, that should tell you just how good Tong was. Tong is a strikeout artist, and he continues to put people away at unbelievable rates. In his last start, he did so without even allowing a base runner. Just had a great year. Both Tong and McLean have arguably surpassed Spruten in the Mets minor league pitcher rankings, as they have had brilliant starts to the 2025 season. So, please, of course, subscribe to the Prospect Hut. Please become a member of the channel. You'll get all this information all in one place. Get it from different places. And I want to thank you for coming by, and I'll see you later.